What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy Adrian here today with Frag Hits, and I am back with yet another fragrance review. And I know what you're wondering, like, yo, Adrian, where you been at? Yo, Adrian! Where you been at, bro? Like, you just disappeared. I had to focus and rethink. I'm like, hey, I need to focus on my actual job. And that's what I did. I focused on my job, in which I'm gonna divulge to you. I work in real estate. So that is how I afford to buy all these fragrances. Clearly, it ain't from the YouTube income, because I ain't making nothing. Like, I just got monetized, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong. Thank you, all you that helped make that happen. I really appreciate that. But I ain't making no money off of this, so I gotta get that money from somewhere. So I work in real estate. I thought about making a real estate related channel and just doing YouTube content and stuff like that. But that's not what you tuned in for. What caught your attention is the 5 fragrances that I would never buy again in my life for any reason. So why don't you go ahead and hit that intro. Well, before you go ahead and do all of that, why don't you go ahead and put on that juice that makes you feel loose so you can smell like Zeus, and let's get into this. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm gonna get into this. I am not gonna hold any punches with this type of stuff. If I offend you, my bad. Is it too late now to say sorry? I didn't mean to do it. Our nose just on the line on this one, but do keep in mind, friendly warning, we all don't like the same food, we all don't like the same women, we all don't like the same cars, we all don't like the same clothes. We all have different tastes. So just because we don't vibe on these 5, don't mean that we don't vibe on some other things. And if your nose aligns with me and you don't like any of these, you might want to really subscribe to the channel, because clearly we hitting on that same frequency. And if I'm hitting these out here for you, they might hit for you. So the first one we're going to talk about is right here, Frank Oliver Oud Touch. Now, the crazy thing about this fragrance is this has a kind of a fan following in the fragrance community for whatever reason. Now, in the quickest form, reason why I bought this is because it says Oud Touch. And I thought, I don't have any oud fragrances. I wanted to dip my toe in safely, cheaply. And that's when I saw it. I said, oh, Oud Touch. And I was buying a whole bunch of fragrances at the time, and I caught it on a good sale. I think I picked this up for like 20 bucks, in that ballpark, somewhere around $20. And I was like, $20? Cool. I can dip my toes into the oud. I effed up. I should have looked at the notes. Reason why, this ain't got no oud in it whatsoever.
Dumbass! You dumbass! You're a dumbass. Such a dumbass. You're an ass.
So what you're supposed to get with this is you're supposed to get an amber, rose, sweet, and powdery nuances with this. So what you're supposed to get with this is you're supposed to get caramel, raspberry, orange, rose, almond, patchouli, violet, jasmine, amber, vanilla, and musk on this. Which when you see those notes, you're like, dude, this could smell phenomenal. Like caramel, raspberry, and rose, and almond, and amber, and vanilla. Like this could be a hidden gem for 20 bucks. So cool. I didn't know the notes. Again, I didn't look it up, but when I read it up before I even smelled it, I was like, this could be a killer. Went into it. What it smells like sucks. This right here, if you go into this thinking you are gonna get a oud fragrance, you messed up right off rip. This thing smells chemically. It smells like the caramel is just tainted. It got dropped on the floor in a batch of Pine Sol and just got swept under the rug in like a Walmart or something like that. It just don't smell good. To me, there's no redeeming qualities about this. Whenever I put it on, every once in a while, I might get that vibe like, I like it, I don't like it. And that's just it. But this one for me, I would never buy this again. Don't buy it. Have you sampled this before? Don't buy this one. Don't waste your money on this one. Just push it to the side. Forget it. Even though it's cheap, it's not worth the money in my opinion. Let's go on. All right, so the next one I'm gonna talk to you about is Halston Z14. The reason why I picked up this one, simplest form, again, I got it ultra cheap. Long story short, I went to a Rite Aid that happened to have this on a coupon. The store was going out of business because the Walgreens across the street just bang, decimated them, killed them, put them out of business. They were clearancing all the fragrances out. happened to go in there and somebody told me like, yo, they got these fragrances super discounted, cheaped out real quick. And I went in there and grabbed some juice and stuff like that. And they're printed up a coupon at the bottom of the receipt. It said $5 off your next purchase. Well, this one, if you bought it with something else, you got it for $5. So I was like, oh yeah, free. So I picked it up. So what you get with this is very citrus, citrus, old man feeling. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. This thing came out in 1974, phenomenal fragrance for the time period. But me, I would never rock anything like this. Now, there's one instance, and I'm gonna give you this just real quick because don't let this fool you. There's one great instance, and the reason why I have not sold this is because whenever I'm gonna go around that older demographic, and if you're out here dating young ladies or young men and stuff like that, and you're trying to vibe with their grandparents and stuff like that, this could trigger those memories that might move you in closer to that inner circle and get their blessings and make you look good to them. So, low-key little secret, House and Z14, you can pick this up for under $10 and hit on that wavelength for that older demographic and slide right into the family if that's what you try to do. Let's move on. All right, so this one right here, love it or hate it. Everybody talks about this one. It either has a massive fan following or it doesn't. I only picked it up because, again, I picked it up on the cheap. And that one I'm talking about right here is this right here. It's Bentley Intense. All right, so Bentley Intense. The reason why I picked this one up, and it came in this little cool little bag, which was kind of nice. I'm gonna throw that to the side because I don't need it. I picked it up because the decant is like a 15 ml, and I caught it on a sale, coupled with something else, and I think I picked this up for like $8. So I was like, $8. I've been hearing raves and reviews, and everybody out here, Jeremy talks about how this is a powerhouse fragrance. There's several YouTubers out here that say that this one, it performs phenomenally. It has these subtle nuances, and it's got the Bentley name in it. It shouldn't have the Bentley name in it. It should be some high-end niche fragrance and stuff like that. I'm here to tell you, nah. The reason why, so I actually looked up the notes on this one, and I'm gonna put the notes over here. And after you read it and you hear all this hype and all these reviews, you're like, dude, this could be a stellar, low-key, cheapy fragrance. I'm gonna put this in the rotation. Just walk into the bar and just clear out the room with all the Dior Sauvages and Chanels and all your other basic Paco Rabanne with millions and stuff like that. I'm gonna cut through the crowd and they can be like, oh man, Baba, who's this unicorn that just strolled up into the bar? How you doing? Nah, that's not what this does. You put this on and it's just so weird on my skin. And I go through these phases. This is one of those weird ones that I go through these phases. One day I will smell it and I'm like, all right, I get the vibe about this. It has a sweet, subtle nuance. You get the rum, you get the boozy notes, you get the woody notes, you get that leather vibe, you get the incense in there. And then there's another day that you'll put it on and my pH balance will be slightly different. And it's like I want to rip the skin off my body and just chuck it across the room because it smells so aggressive. It smells so pungent in your face. It smells chemically. It smells like somebody dumped a batch of chemicals cleaning solution on the floor. It's almost like they found the cheapest freaking rum they possibly could. You know when you was in college at one time and you went to the store and you dropped something on the floor and you're like, oh, let me get that $1 because I dropped it. I only got $3 up to my name when we pulling our money together to get this bottle tonight. And you dropped it on the floor. And up underneath this shelf, not on the bottom shelf, but up underneath that bottom shelf, that low rack right down there, you found that one hidden bottle that didn't even have a name on it, something that's like Korsky or Medulla rum or what's that stuff we used to drink in college? That Castillo rum that you just drank a couple of those that hit that Castillo rum and woo, it spit your wig open like that. Yes, that's what this one smells like. That's the rum that they use in it. They took half of one of those bottles and just poured it straight up in there, mixed it, started with some leather. Benzoin in this is just overpoweringly, and it's just too aggressive and too volatile, and I can't get on board with this one. If you wear this one and you love it, I'm sorry for your nose, and I'm sorry for the women or the men that are around you, because there's some days they're gonna like you, and there's some days they just gonna be like, bro, you need to get up out of this room and get out of my airspace, because you choking me out. Next one. All right, so the next one we're gonna talk about right here is this one. And this is Armoff Tag Him Prestige. Not to be confused with Armoff Tag Him, the silver bottle. The silver bottle is an inspiration of Blue Day Chanel, which is phenomenal. And that's the reason why I bought this bottle, because I had that one and I burned through that bottle. That bottle was fire. If you can find it out there, sub $25, cop it. That's a great bottle, fresh and clean. It is a beast in performance. It stays on you 8 to 10 hours. And I'm sitting here thinking, yo, that one did works. This one could do worse also. So what this one was supposed to be is a clone of Paco Rabanne 1 million. And the straight up reason, honest God truth, the reason why I do not wear this is, one, it does not remind me of Paco Rabanne. The Paco Rabanne 1 million vanilla is much more creamy, much more refined, much more exotic in nature, and it just smells of a super higher quality. This one, when you put it on, it smells in the same realm. Like you could tell that it's going towards that Paco Rabanne 1 million, but it fell well short. You know, it's kind of like it just got 80% of the way there. It was like, nah, we cool, bro. I'm not going the rest of the way. How much you pay for that oil? How much? No. What's the one underneath that? No, I'll go down again. One more down. Yeah, that one. I'll take one. Let me get 10 pounds of those. That's what they did with this. The oils in this just don't compare with the Paco Rabanne 1 million. Now, over the years, Armoff has stepped it up. They have a lot more creative things that have come out since then. Maybe I got a bad batch. I don't know what this. The reason why I don't wear this anymore, for whatever reason, every single time I put this on, this just gives me a massive freaking headache. It just, you ever put on something that's just so strong and so aggressive, it just straight up punches you in your dome. Like you feel like you're just getting the vein that's right here, it just starts throbbing and you feel it pulsating. You're like, oh my God, bro, I'm about to have an aneurysm today. That's what this one does for you. It is overpowering. It is crazy beast mode performance. It is annoying, but it doesn't smell like Paco Rabanne. This does not smell like 1 million. This smells like 1 million pennies. Next one. All right, so the very next one and last one that we're gonna talk about is this one right here. Now this is Estee Lauder Beyond Paradise. The unfortunate part of why I had to put this on the list, and I am glad you have tuned in. If you made it this far, clearly you like some of my content. And if you appreciate the content, just do me a solid. Let me know in the comments or with this, or if you feel like hearing some more content, you know, there's a little subscribe button over there. But the reason why I got this is very near to me because I bought a bottle of this in college. And when I had this in college, I don't know if I bought it like after they had already discontinued it or whatever the case was, but it was in the vein of Acqua di Gio. It was in that same fresh and clean realm. It was hitting on all those nuances, but it stood just outside the main vein, just enough for I could go in with the crowd and I would stand out just far enough to get the compliments from the Acqua di Gio crowd, but have those subtle nuances to set me apart from everybody else. And that's why I love this bottle. Plus the bottle looked cool. The reason why I gotta put it on the list right now is because I made the unfortunate mistake of buying this on eBay. Don't do that. Be careful when you're buying stuff on eBay. Reason why I know this isn't the real deal. What I think they did with this is I think they found a whole bunch of the batches from back in the day and they found the old bottles and they put a tiny bit in there and they just filled the rest up with perfumer's alcohol. Because to me, the batch right now, and it could be because it's been discontinued for a long time, and that's how I knew it was a fake, because I even called up Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder was like, this has been discontinued for a while. Might I ask how long? Close to a decade. What? And then they were claiming that they were getting it from an authorized distributor of Estee Lauder. So I called them out on eBay, finally got my money refunded. It was a hot mess going through it. Don't order this one on eBay. If you are unfortunate in what you do with this, the first 20, 30 seconds, it smells fine. After that, it smells like straight up dead flowers. Like you just found an old vase over there hanging out in your grandma's house that's been chilling. She forgot about it. Your grandpa got it for her for Valentine's Day, but it's now August and that thing's just clanging out for you. You're like, just barely clinging on for that life, and that water is down in there. He got out of that fresh bouquet, and all the life juices kind of drained out of it down into the stems, and they're sitting at the bottom of that water over there. And it's like you went over there and just splashed some on your arm. That's what this smells like now. It smells like hot garbage. Like, just throw this stuff away. All right, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. I'm gonna try to trim this stuff down for you as much as humanly possible. But if you want to see the full nuances of this, if I offended you in some way, I am gonna put out a little bit longer version that I did at a different time. That way you can see my full things on that one. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one.